Hello and welcome to Ideagen TV, powered by Azure and presented by Microsoft. Today, I am pleased to interview Steven James Tingus, a dear friend of Ideagen. Welcome, Steven. It's so great to have you back on Ideagen TV today.
Thank you, Cooper. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. So to kick off the interview, we all just came off an incredibly challenging 2020 with the situation of the global pandemic. Ideagen defines dynamic resiliency as an organization with a demonstrated, dedicated ethos focused on fostering partnerships across sectors, resulting in surviving, recovering, and reimagining operations after the most challenging circumstances. The ability to see around corners and to reimagine. What does that mean to you, and how would you define dynamic resiliency?
To me, dynamic resiliency means that one's ability to look at their surroundings, understand what different communities are dealing with, and how to incorporate yourself into positive and negative situations in order to make things better, not just for yourself, but for those that you interact with.
Great answer. Well said. And I like that, part of this resiliency is right now I'm in DC talking to you in Hollywood. And I think that's amazing. And, being so immersed in the Hollywood life, your industry was hit extremely hard during this pandemic with the shutdown of production, et cetera. Can you share with our global audience some stories of resiliency from this past year and how the entertainment industry is looking at its comeback?
Sure. Like many industries in our country, Hollywood is what we call the glamour city, and producing films and movies and TV shows that entertain and lift people. However, we're not immune to the pandemic because of coronavirus spread and such. So right now, LA, now the epicenter of the pandemic, we're pretty much shut down. And all of us, most of us, except for, food industries and such, medical, are doing our work by the internet, just as we're doing here in my interview with you. So Hollywood is shut down, in-person production, and we've all gone to Zoom and other platforms in order to do our productions virtually. And actually, it's been a good thing because it makes the industry a lot more malleable, and we're able to be a lot more efficient, and obviously efficient with financial support. And unfortunately, industries like the theaters, movie theaters, are getting really hit. So what we're doing with awards and conferences, we're doing our presentations on our subject matter by the internet.
Absolutely. And I like that you touched on, a little bit of moving to kind of a virtual atmosphere in your work. And that kind of brings me to my next question. How have you and your partners and colleagues worked together to persevere throughout this past year?
Oh my God, it's such a change. Here in Hollywood, I work on mostly diversity and inclusion, and I've really been focused on project development as far as scripts, you would not believe the number of great talent that have reached out to me in order to mentor them with their projects and get their projects into the right hands of executive producers and other studios. So it's been very creative. It's allowed me to put a little bit of a touch of a disability perspective, and also in keeping with underrepresented minority groups that also have disabilities that we would like to see their stories told on screen as well.
Well, that's truly a noble calling, and we here at Ideagen definitely appreciate the work you're doing there. And it's great to hear your sense of optimism. So I have to ask, what are your goals for this upcoming year and beyond?
My goals are to continue to support the work that Ideagen is doing with regard to their global footprint on the major issues facing the world. And obviously here in America, my other goals are to collaborate more with executive producers here in Hollywood, because the profession has changed. As far as how we do business, how we produce, and also I'm hoping to start my own entertainment company that's focused on disability inclusion, with the mindset that disability inclusion can be a moneymaker, and to teach studio heads at the executive table that 20% of the world's population is made up of people with disabilities. And we're not poor. We have financial resources, and we're able to sell that fact as a constituency that also is very thankful and interested in entertainment.
Wow, that's really inspiring. I'm amazed by your ambition, Steven. That's awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today on Ideagen TV, presented globally by Microsoft. Really quick, before we let you go, what is your call to action for our global audience as we continue to change the world and continue to be resilient? And how can our global audience find out more about the work you're doing?
My goal, my hopes for your viewers is, let's take this time in history to reaffirm our commitment to better understanding of all people from all walks of life that have a voice, have the ability, and have the dream to make our society a lot more welcoming, and educate others as we walk down the path of life. People that are interested in my work can reach me on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. And on Facebook, I have a consulting page as well as a diversity and inclusion page. So my contact information is there, as well as my agents. And I look forward to helping your viewers if they're interested in helping me make the world more inclusive.
Well, that's what we do here at Ideagen, is cross-sector collaboration, and I think today was a great example of that. Thank you so much, Steven, for all the work you're doing. I look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you, Cooper.